So what happened to Doreen Virtue, the famous Hay House author who went from being, the angel talking lady to a born again Christian? Hi, this is Solera. I'm a spiritual channel, and I want to share that with you because yesterday I was on Facebook, scrolling through stuff as usual, and I saw Doreen Virtue. Well, I've never really personally followed her, but she's very well known, being the person who talks to angel, and she has all these decks, right? You might be familiar with if you follow sort of like the new age trend or a lot of other Hay House authors. So she, I think back maybe about 2012, started to kind of change her life direction. And I had asked the spiritual guides yesterday because I couldn't really understand because she was like full on the angel lady. That's all I knew of her was she talks to angels. So, and it's really interesting here, the spiritual guides' perspective, because they were like, wow, she's just, she's at a point in her life where she totally did one thing and now she needs to experience a different facet of the diamond. And when they said diamond, they're really referring to, diamond as God, as the universe. It's like she experienced one facet, which is like the new age area. Now she's experiencing God from the Christian perspective. And I was like, well, why couldn't she just try to like blend it in or something? She's like, no, because that's just how she learns. It's like, imagine she threw herself into the ocean and now she's throwing herself into the fire, and water and fire don't mix. So in order for her to be in the fire, she sort of has to completely let go of the ocean, right? Of course, they're using that analogy because they want to show that as each person's going through their journey, sometimes you might experience kind of like one end of the pendulum. The pendulum swings to one side and then goes back to the other side. And it's really interesting because that's what I asked them. I was like, it's really strange because I have a friend, okay, personal friend of mine from high school who used to be like a fundamentalist Christian, and we were buddies back then. And then he got a sort of a job in a big IT firm. And after about 10 years, I saw him again. And then he became an atheist. And I said to him, look, you had to be a Christian for a long time. And then now you're an atheist. Maybe eventually, in another 10 years, your pendulum will swing to the middle again. And I think that happens to a lot of us. And I can even see that from my own personal experience. Like for a long time, I was just chasing like career goals, money or prestige or whatever. And I did that for a long time. And then after a while, I got really tired of it. Then for another 10 years, I only did spiritual pursuits. I went to meditation camp. I studied some spiritual psychology and, went to different healers and things like that. So I think, if you are on either end of the spectrum right now, I just say be patient. Your pendulum would eventually come back to the middle, and your goal, if there is one, is to really find that middle path, okay? Because that's something that spiritual guides tell me all the time. They said, don't be too extreme. Just walk in the middle. Find your middle path, find your middle ground, and you don't need to swing your pendulum back and forth all the time. So that's something for you to keep in mind as you sort of move forward in your life, thinking about how you can operate in this life, right? Is to try not to do the extreme things. And if maybe you have gone really extreme to one side, and it's also fine to swing your pendulum sort of like back to the other side, and you just have to take your time with it and be patient and love yourself in the process. Okay, so that's my message for you for today, because I thought it was really interesting after talking to the spiritual guides about it, so I thought I'd share it with you. And I will see you next time. And if you haven't, make sure you join our Facebook group, Life Lessons for Every Day from the Guides, and I'll see you next time. Bye.